Hi, it's Holly, and I'm here with another Top 5 Wednesday video, and this one is Top 5 series I won't finish. I feel kind of bad doing this one. I feel like it's kind of like almost book bashing, and I feel a little awkward about doing that. So actually I kind of struggled with this one because even if I don't like a series, I tend to usually make myself finish it. There is always a chance, like I'm not going to promise I won't finish these like ever, but I feel like these ones are the ones I'm most likely not to finish. So first I will do ones that I don't have physical copies of books for, and actually this one I do have a book but I don't know where it is, and that is the A Song of Ice and Fire series, like also known as Game of Thrones. And I've only read like the first like 100 or 200 pages of A Game of Thrones, and I was enjoying it, but I was reading it when the show came out and I just ended up watching the show. I've since stopped watching the show, not because I wasn't enjoying it, but because I don't have HBO, so it's kind of a challenge. But someday I'd like to buy the show on DVD and just watch it. They're really big, and fantasy isn't, like high fantasy isn't necessarily my favorite thing, and I'm just not drawn to them. Like I feel like I can really only dedicate so much of my time to that type of book, and since I'm reading the Sort of Truth books by Terry Goodkind, unfortunately those are kind of taking the like lead when it comes to those kinds of things. The 100, I don't know if that's what the series is called, but the first book is called The 100 by Cass Morgan. I read it in January. I don't know if the second book is out yet, or how many books there's going to be, or what's going on, but I really didn't like that book. I don't like the TV show either. I watched the first 2 episodes and I just could not bring myself to watch anymore. I didn't like the characters, I didn't like the story, I thought it was predictable. There's one character I have some interest in knowing what happens to them, but not nearly enough to continue watching the show, or continue reading. And actually in the show, they didn't even put that character in the show, and I was just like, what is this? Oh, next is the Marriage to Billionaire series by Jennifer Probst. I read the first book in this series in like March or April, I think, and that was The Marriage Bargain. It's a contemporary romance with some like magical realism elements, I believe. So I just really didn't like that story, and part of me wants to give Jennifer Probst another shot as an author. And I probably will, but I think I'll stay away from the series because that book just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. I think I gave it 3 stars, but I just was really disappointed with it and the characters. Is the Delirium series by Lauren Oliver. I only own Delirium. I think I gave this 3 stars. I didn't hate it, but I actually had gotten Pandemonium and Requiem from the library, and I just kept looking at them and being like, no. Objectively, I can appreciate the writing in here, but it's not my style. It doesn't really hook me. I didn't really connect to Lena. I honestly really don't have that much interest in knowing where the story goes. Plus, I've heard some hit or miss things about how it ends and everything, so just don't really feel the need to put myself through that. The last is going to be kind of weird because I own 3 of the books in the series, and that is the 100 Oaks companion series by Miranda Keneally. So I own Catching Jordan, Stealing Parker, and Racing Savannah. There's also Things I Can't Forget, I think, and then Breathe Annie Breathe. And my issue is, like, especially with like Breathe Annie Breathe, I think that story sounds really interesting. I also thought Catching Jordan sounded really interesting, Stealing Parker sounded really interesting, and Racing Savannah sounded really interesting. And I mean, Racing Savannah I enjoyed a decent amount, but I was really disappointed by these stories in Catching Jordan and especially Stealing Parker. I just feel like I've given her 3 shots, and there's so much potential in these books and the plots, and they're just not realized for me. So I've come to the conclusion that Miranda Keneally is not an author for me. My main issue, which does extend to all 3 of these, which is a huge reason why I don't want to continue on, and hopefully I will remember that and not be sucked in by plots and be disappointed again, is all of these books have main female characters I can't stand. I find them whiny and just selfish, and they don't even mature from that, in my opinion. So clearly that's it seems like that's the kind of heroine she writes, and it's just not for me. So those are the 5 series that I probably won't finish, but no promises. So if you want to watch any other Top 5 Wednesday videos, I will leave a link in the description to all of the people participating, and if you want to tell me what series you don't plan on finishing, or if you have any thoughts on the series that I don't plan on finishing, feel free to let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching. Bye!